Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. And Ramadan Kareem, greetings of peace to you. We hope you are enjoying your Ramadan, inshallah, and that you are getting all the benefits out of Ramadan that you could possibly get. Other than hunger and thirst, inshallah, may you also grow spiritually this Ramadan. Today we have a very dear guest, a friend of mine, Sister Sharifa Carlo from the United States. Assalamu alaikum, dear Sharifa, how are you?
Salam. I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Alhamdulillah, I'm doing fine, alhamdulillah. Dear Sharifa has a master's degree in composition and rhetoric from the United States and is currently an instructor of English in the College of Technology here in Kuwait.
Yes.
You're teaching adults, am I correct?
Yes, I am.
I'm
teaching for the certificate program and also for the chemical engineering program, the bachelor's degree.
MashaAllah, quite challenging.
It
MashaAllah,
is.
yeah. So, dear Sharifa, what brought you as a Western woman, a Western free thinking, free acting, very little boundaries having woman, what brought you to Islam?
Well, actually, I was with a group, and this group was working towards destroying Islam, taking women away from the idea of being a good practicing Muslim.
You were with this group?
I was with this group.
Wow.
And they were financing my way through the university. And with this group, I was trying to learn Quran and learn Hadith and get as much as I can knowledge about Islam.
So you could actually fight it?
So that I can actually twist it and play with it.
Twist it.
Use the words and play around with them in such a way that I took people away from practicing what Allah wanted them to practice.
So you were being taught not just to speak out against Islam straight out.
Oh no, I was being taught to play with Islam.
To play with it and twist it in such a way that Muslims wouldn't quite know that you're twisting it, but at the same time they would start leaving it then because...
Exactly. I was taught actually to play with perspectives.
You were taught to play with perspectives. Now that is interesting, subhanAllah. And that leads us actually to our topic, right?
Yes,
Which
it does,
is, subhanAllah, perspectives. It's all about perspectives. And, you know, the West, of course, is trying so hard in the media, mostly in the media nowadays, you know, social media or, you know, television media, to change the perspectives of people about Islam. And unfortunately, Muslims get affected by that media as well, because we're exposed to those media ideas just as much. Regarding the Muslim woman, a lot of those misconceptions and twisted perspectives are about women.
Yes, they are.
Right? It's such an easy target.
We are. And also because so many of us really don't understand our religion fully. If you look at things in one way, with one perspective, actually we can look oppressed. But when you turn it around to another way, in actuality, it's not oppression, it's a saving, it's a protection, it's more freedom. I wrote an article once.
We look at it, right?
Yeah.
Depends on how we look at it.
Exactly.
Yes.
I wrote an article once, and in that article I called it, "When I Covered My Head, okay, I Opened My Mind." Because,
oh, nice title, I like that.
Thank you. Because it wasn't until I put on the hijab that I realized how different life is from this perspective. And I'm going to give you an example. As a Muslim woman, I have to get the permission of my father in order to get married, or my wali, whoever's in charge of me.
Right, in a Western perspective, saying, what's this? She can't make up her mind. What does she need her father for? Isn't she a grown woman? And. Right?
Exactly. And as a Muslim woman, okay, if my father says no, I don't get married. So coming from a Western background, the idea of some man making a decision for me about who I'm supposed to marry, it doesn't make any sense to me. Because I'm thinking from, I'm an educated woman, I am a woman who knows what she wants, I'm the one who has to live with that man, who are you to tell me? But subhanAllah, as a Western woman, I also don't look at the other sides of this. One example. How many women with children are living on the streets in the West? Oh, yes. Eating out of trash cans, living in pup tents, living underneath bridges, yes. Living in cars, living from, you know, even if they have a home, they're living from day to day and they have no way to take care of themselves. Why? Because once we reach a certain age in the West, we become independent, we become free, and our father has no responsibility for us, and if he doesn't want to, he doesn't have to do anything for us.
And that kind of goes with the package, right? You want to be on your own, you want that independence, well, you got it.
Exactly.
Right?
But the thing is, the Muslim woman, she has a net, and that net is her family. The men of her family are responsible for her. So let us say that, a'udhu billah, something happens to the husband. And that happens often. It's not like something rare that something happens to a husband. Or let us say that, you know, there's a divorce or something bad happens. What happens to the woman in that situation?
Good question. We'll come back to that in a minute, inshallah. So what happens to a woman that is faced with divorce, faced with widowhood, in the West and comparatively in Islam? So we'll be back with that thought in just a minute.
One song can change a moment. One idea can change a world. One step can start a journey. But a prayer can change even the impossible.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. We just left you a few minutes ago with the question of what happens to a woman who finds herself in dire situation, financial difficulties, or any kind of difficulty in life. A Western woman, like you just said, she's just left on her own because she's decided, I want to be this independent woman. Nobody can tell me anything what to do. So then the people involved, like family and parents, say, okay, you want to be independent, then be independent. Yeah. Right? And the Muslim woman, on the other hand,
well,
has a safety net.
It's not to say that a Western family won't take care of their daughter.
No, of course not.
But the mentality that's given to the Western woman is that she usually doesn't want this.
Right. And
I
it's not
can
a
take
must
care of
upon
myself.
them either. It's not obligatory on that family.
Exactly. So, but in a Muslim family, the man is responsible for the women of his family. The father is responsible for his daughter no matter what. If she has no husband, if she has nobody to take care of her, if the government's not taking care of her, he has to do it. And in many Muslim countries that follow this Islamic law, a woman, forget about culture, a woman can make a case against her father saying he's not taking care of me. He's not feeding me. He's not giving me a home.
She can get her legal rights.
She can get her legal rights, and if the father has anything, it would be taken from him and given to her to take care of her. He would have to do it because Allah put him in charge for a reason. He has the right to help her choose this man because if anything happens, he's now in charge. He's the one that has to take care of everything. It's going to become his responsibility. And the same thing in terms of inheritance. People look and say, oh, the Muslim woman, she gets half of what her brother gets. She doesn't get as much as a man gets. Say, yeah, because the man has to take care of her. So if she is, let's say she's a wife.
She actually gets more that way.
Yes, she is a wife. And you know, subhanAllah, perspectives. A Muslim woman listens to her husband. But what does the Muslim husband do? Do you know that in order to get married, he has to pay a dowry? Now, a dowry isn't a buying out a bride price. This is what you get seen on the media. He's not buying her. He's showing her, I have the ability to take care of you. And because I want you so badly, I'm willing to give you anything you ask for. And this is for you. This is not to pay for the wedding. This is not to give to your father. This is not for anything but for you to use as you want. Kayfi, as the Kuwaitis would say.
It's honoring you as a woman.
Yes.
It's honoring you as a sister who's willing to be under my care. I'm honoring you with this gift.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And it is whatever you ask for, as much or as little as you want.
You see, it's beautiful how the perspectives. I mean, there you can have, if you want to see it in a negative and disgusting way, you can say, yeah, he's buying her, he's paying her off like a piece of cattle.
Yes.
At the same time, you can say, turn it completely. Say, it's actually an honor. He's giving her a gift. He's asking in her hand for marriage, please marry me. And in order to marry, I will give you what you ask for because I honor you so much.
And the strange thing is that in the West, we have a gift that a woman gets before marriage.
Well, yeah, wedding gifts.
A wedding ring.
A wedding ring.
Who gets married without a wedding ring?
Oh, yes, of course.
And as soon as she walks into the house, she's like, do you see my ring?
Exactly.
See how big the rock is? See how much he loves me? The bigger the rock, the more he loves me.
Exactly.
So even in the West, they have the concept of a gift to the woman before the marriage.
Of course.
This is one thing. The second thing, because the man it doesn't stop there. In the West, the woman pays for the wedding. Her family pays for the wedding. In Islam, the man's family pays for the wedding. The man and his family are responsible to buy the dress, to take care of any party preparation.
She sits back and enjoys.
She sits back and enjoys. Then, on top of that, it doesn't stop. The man is responsible for providing the house, the furniture, the clothes, the food. And even if she is a multi-millionaire, she doesn't have to give one penny towards her maintenance. She can take her money and put it in her pocket, sit back, and he has to take care of her. And he has to do it according to his means, and to the extent that if the man doesn't want to provide at the level that he is, if he's a man with a PhD, he has a certain level. He has a certain ability to pay.
Status in life.
Exactly.
Living,
and
yeah.
people in his income status have a certain level. If he doesn't keep her at that level, guess what? She's allowed to steal from him. Islam allows the woman so much. So if
she can take without his permission, from his provisions, to be in that category of lifestyle.
Exactly. So if you look at it in this perspective, the poor one is the man. Because here you have a woman, she's going to work, she's coming back home, she's got herself a fat little paycheck, and he's paying the rent, and he's paying the food, and he's paying for her clothes, and he's paying for her kids' clothes, and he's paying for the education, and he's paying for everything that needs to pay for. She's taking her money, going out to the mall and buying a Gucci bag. She can do whatever she wants with that money, and he doesn't have the right to ask for it. If she wants to help him, she can.
Quite a comfortable lifestyle.
It is.
They're all depending on perspective. So we'll be back with that in a minute, inshallah. Please stay with us. We'll be going for a quick break. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, dear viewers. We were just on the topic of perspectives is all that is about. When we view especially women's issues in Islam, it's all about perspective. We can decide to view it negatively,
yes,
or we can decide to view it positively and see the good in things, and
yes,
that would change our attitudes completely about what things really are.
Yes,
right?
It does. It
so
does.
You were saying about women having actually quite a nice lifestyle in Islam, being protected, being spent on. It's not about buying a woman. Listening to her husband, he has a lot to do as well. So it's a two-sided, it's a balanced relationship. Yeah. He takes care, she listens.
Well, it's more than that. Actually, in Islam, we don't believe that men and women are equal. We think that they're compatible. We believe that men and women work together. We're
not identical,
together. No, we're not.
We're equal, meaning
we're equal in front of Allah,
yes,
but not in our abilities. Yes. Even from woman to woman, man to man, there's a difference in abilities. But when it comes to the general, okay, and I'm not talking about specific, because when you get into specifics, then what happens is that there's always an exception to the rule. Mm-hmm. But there is a general thing that's true. In general, men are more physically capable, upper body strength than women.
Yep, and it doesn't mean that is inferior one to, it's just different.
Yes.
Right?
When it comes to nurturing, even within literature, nurturing language is the language of the woman. It's feminine language.
Right. And
because nurturing is something, it's not something bad, it's not something less, it's something that's inherent within the woman in a stronger level than it is in the man. Yes. And this is physical.
Physical, it's
absolutely
about hormones,
physical.
It's about, and it's about physical makeup.
Exactly.
And it doesn't make it any worse, it's just different roles.
Well, not just that, it's that in each area, one is superior and one is inferior in general.
Right.
That doesn't mean that in general one is completely inferior or one is completely superior.
Exactly.
What it means is that we supplement each other.
Complementary
Where I'm
roles.
strong, you are weak. Where you're strong, I am weak. And so we work together to create the balance that is needed to create a community, to create a family, to create a life.
Yep, and that's it's just like in let's say at a workplace, right? You've got a team of 5 people. You try to make the team be consistent of people with different strengths. So
Right.
they come. You don't have a team. Everybody's got a certain strength. Everybody's got good writing skills, but nobody's got good speaking skills.
Exactly.
For example, you try to balance, right? You try to make a team consist of, okay, this guy is good in this and this lady is good in this. Let's make that as a team because they complement each other.
Yes.
And nobody's inferior to the other, but like you said, somebody could be a little weaker in this skill, and maybe the other person makes up for that skill by being stronger.
Yeah,
It's
unfortunately,
wonderfully balanced.
unfortunately, in the West, the woman is taught to feel that there's nothing wrong with doing everything, that actually you should try your best to be exactly the same as a man, and that you need to reach that level that a man has in every aspect, that he is
In addition to being a woman.
more naturally superior, and then again, in addition to having to do all the things that society expects from you as a woman.
You know what the
and
funny
that's
thing
unfair.
is? That's not expected of a man, though.
No, it isn't.
That's the funny thing. Like, where's the balance? If they would expect men to be as well trying to be a woman
Yes.
and on top of being a man, but they're not expecting, and they're fine with men being men, but women have to be it all
Yes.
to be considered a worthy human being.
But in so many ways, they harm themselves. We harm ourselves as women by doing this, because we lose from those things that we could be superior at, and instead become inferior
Mediocre
at something, or
everything.
mediocre at something that even is not beneficial to us.
Yes.
But I'm not saying that a woman cannot do certain things.
Oh, yes,
okay?
of course.
I'll give you an example. I have a black belt in judo. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And in order to reach that black belt, I had to fight 6 men, okay, in order to get my black belt.
Yes.
So I have the ability to do this.
And which is a good thing, maybe self-defense and so on.
Okay.
Islam doesn't keep us from, let's say, achieving certain things of strength or whatnot. But
Yes, but it doesn't mean that every woman has the natural ability to do that. I had this ability and I worked forward towards it. But we shouldn't push that every single woman has to have the same level. One may have a possibility to do this, but not all women would be able to do it against all men. So when Allah creates His rules, He creates it for the norm.
Yes, of course.
There are those above the norm and there are those below the norm. And these people will inshallah fit within what's right, but the vast majority of the people fit within the norm. So if you fit people within this norm and you make that the default and you want to change it, for instance, in a marriage, okay, before you get married, there's a marriage contract. Now, looking at this marriage contract, you're sitting there saying, well, what's the purpose? I mean, in general, we should both have the right to say everything, to do everything. But no, there is a default. In the default is that in a normal family, a normal Muslim family, the man is the head, the woman follows. Because this is what Allah gave the man as a responsibility. Mm-hmm. It's not just a gift of power, it's a responsibility that he is going to be held accountable for. Yes. You know, just like any leader has responsibility over that which is underneath.
And of course, that doesn't exclude consulting his wife. You know, a lot of times, again, the perspective is he just makes a command, everybody follows, no ruthlessly. You know, there are certain, the Prophet ﷺ used to consult, the Prophet ﷺ used to be kind.
Yes,
you know,
exactly.
It's also the mannerisms of how this is done.
Yeah.
And it's just that the last word, in case there is some kind of discrepancy, we have to have one captain in a ship.
Yeah.
Right, and one captain on a flight.
Well, see, the big problem that happens is if you have 2 people who have absolute equal power, at some point they're going to disagree, and that is divorce.
Exactly, that will be destruction.
So again, back to the contract. So if you have this marriage contract, if there's something that you want that is away from the norm, you put it in the contract.
Right.
You state, I want this to be part of our married life.
So the woman does have certain amount of ability to decide things for herself, and she can actually hold that in contract, which is a wonderful, powerful tool for her.
Yes.
So inshallah, we will be back with that in just a moment, dear viewers. Please stay with us.
is for the million things she gave me. O means only she's growing old. T is for the tears she shed to save me. H is for her heart of purest gold. E is for her eyes with love light shining. R means right, and right she'll always be. Put them all together, they spell mother, a word that means the world to me.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back, dear viewers. And we are on the topic of perspectives. That anything that we look at, we have a choice of what way we want to look at it, our perspective towards this issue. And sadly, like we said, in Islam or in the West, a lot of perspectives are twisted and turned about Islam, and that's actually what you were trained to do.
Yes,
initially,
it was.
Is to get Muslims to change the perspective slightly, just twist it enough so that people would start disliking Islam and seeing things in ways that it's not meant to be seen.
Exactly.
SubhanAllah.
Exactly.
So we were on the topic of a woman having the power or the ability to make a marriage contract.
Yes.
That women are not oppressed. And
No,
women, all these little rules that we have are not to oppress a woman, but actually if you change your perspective, that actually is empowering and not oppressing.
Yes. In the contract goes on the norm, on what is supposed to be. The woman is supposed to be taken care of by the man. That's his job. That's his responsibility. Whether he likes it or he doesn't like it, he has to pay for everything. So now, let us say a woman wants to work, or maybe she's ambivalent. Maybe she wants to work, maybe she doesn't want to work, but she wants it to be her choice. So I tell people many times before, in your contract, put down that I want the right to work at any time, and if I don't want to work, you can't push me. So she makes it very clear that this is something that she wants that is against the norm, against what is the default of the contract. So when you do this, you have complete power. Before you get married, you have complete power to make a decision about what is going to be in the future. And if he agrees with it, you marry him. If he doesn't agree, bye-bye. No need to marry you. There's another one down the road.
Exactly.
So, we have to look at things in the right way.
So you do have certain things that you can stipulate in a contract and thus retain certain lifestyle or certain wishes that you have, some things that are very important to you.
Exactly.
That possibly if you had not put it in the contract, you would then have to say, okay, my husband does not want me to work, so I can't work. But have you, if you stipulated that in a contract and you have made that agreement, prenuptial agreement, then he's bound by that because he agreed. He agreed initially.
And
yes.
perspectives really make a difference in everything. Sometimes you'll have the Western woman. Imagine, I saw a cartoon just recently. There was a woman and she's wearing a bikini and she's looking at this munakaba, covered in black from head to toe.
Oh yes,
and he's
I saw
sitting
that.
there
it's
saying,
a caricature. Yes.
Exactly. She's looking at it and saying, this poor, oppressed woman from this misogynistic, male-dominated culture that treats her like property. And then the Muslim woman is looking at her saying, this poor naked woman from this misogynistic, oppressive society that treats her like property. It depends on how you look on it.
SubhanAllah. So it's always important to check our perspectives. Well, Jazakallah khair, dear Sharifa. You gave us something to think about.
Thank you very much.
Something to, keep now taking into consideration anything that we see, even things that are not about Islam. It's about perspective. We have to keep that open mind and to see what perspective we choose to see things in.
And we had to read and look and learn the whole
Educate
picture.
yourself
Education,
before you
very
form your
important.
perspective. Very good, very good. Thank you so much for being with us. It was an honor, inshallah, and I'm looking forward to more episodes with you, inshallah.
Thank you. I enjoy them.
Thank you. Dear viewers, we hope that you took something really important with you from today's episode, is that of perspective. How we view things, how we decide to see things, and that can change our attitudes, that can change how we see things, it can keep us open-minded. So enjoy, inshallah, your iftar today. Don't forget to pray your Taraweeh prayers, inshallah, and keep educating yourself on all topics in this life and especially about Islam, inshallah. We'll see you next time. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.